Today is September 6th, 2022. Welcome to the podcast of Walking This Way's Impact Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Fermin Jackson Jr. Along with the ride is the team of Cliches, Miss A herself, Anna C., and Kenny Primetime Williams. Our guest is Tara Lynn Townes. She's the CEO of TBB Enterprise. Tara Lynn Townes has over 20 years of experience working with women, children, and family as a whole. So we do thank her for hanging out with us tonight. Tonight's episode is about bullying. She's into that arena of bullying prevention. We know that bullying has been taking place for a very long time. You know, it still goes on today. We know a lot of young people have experienced bullying in some form of fashion. And we know that bullying can lead to suicide. And we know that's very sad, especially a young man or woman take their life because they're being bullied, crying out for help, looking for help, and nobody's not responding. So we do have an expert that has over 20 years experience in this field, and we do welcome her here on Walking This Way Impact Voice Podcast. So those who watch us on Facebook Live, comment, like, share, get the thumbs up, get the hearts up. This topic is going to be very, very touching tonight because we know that kids lose their lives behind this this evenness that goes on in our world. But before we get off into that with our guests, we know we got Miss A herself, Anna C, with the financial tips of the week. And then we know we're going to kick it off with Kenny with the sports. And then we're going to kick it off with Shay with entertainment news. And then tonight, we're going to be asking questions and having a great conversation with our featured guest tonight. So Miss A herself, Anna C, going to take away with the latest financial tips for the week. So I encourage everybody, get your pen, get your paper, get your crayon, your highlighter, mark, whatever you write with, and take these great tips. Don't just write them, but take them and apply them to your life. So Anna, go ahead with the latest financial tips for the week.
Hey, it's your girl, Anna C., the spending plan specialist, financial planning at your fingertip. Well, I'm coming with some facts and statistics for y'all tonight, right? Your girl is coming with the numbers because I want to educate my people. I tell you about financial literacy and how it's influential, how it's so important to us and to our community. Well, also, the financial industry is growing, it's booming, and there is a need. So let's talk about that for a little bit. So the 2021 numbers have been out for a little while, but I'm not sure if you're aware of them. So diversity in the financial industry is improving. So we do want to give a hand clap to that. We are doing better than we have before, but the industry is still being dominated by Caucasian males. Now, this isn't a negative thing, but can we just talk about facts for a little bit here? In 2020 to 2021, Black certified financial planners grew by 10%. The Hispanic race grew by 15%, females by 4%. So we are moving in the industry in the right direction, but can we keep making a couple more strides? I just want to point out some things, and I want these numbers to sit and resonate with you. So tonight, it's not more of a conversation, but I just want you to let this marinate. There are 92,055 certified financial planners in the U.S. 92,000 certified for financial planners in the U.S. 83% are white. That means less than 2% are African American. So I want that to sit with you for a second. Less than 2% of certified, licensed financial planners are African American. Out of all CFPs, 76.6% are males. 23% are females. Do you see the numbers? If you need a visual, check out my page. I dropped a couple of graphs for you guys so that you can get a visual of what I'm talking about here, okay? I want you to look at it a different way. 92,000 licensed professionals, 76,435 are Caucasian. Less than 2,700 are African American. Less than 1,600 are Black females. Now think about the US population. There are 329.5 million people in the US. 41.6 million are African American. So when you hear those numbers, it just screams, we are needed. Representation matters. There needs to be more people that look like you and me, that talk like us, that can relate to us in the industry, educating our people. So if there is so much room for us, think about how much room. There's 329 million people in the world, and only 2,700 African Americans are licensed financial professionals. I think you and I have more Facebook friends than that. That just shows they need us. We need to step up and step and grow in this industry. We need to become more knowledgeable. We need to become licensed. And we need to start helping each other. We need to start helping our communities. This is why it's so important to me, because we need more women of impact in the industry. Our voices need to be heard. We need to educate our people. That is the best way to avoid being taken advantage of. So I want you to think about that. Females make up more than 51% of the entire population in the US. Yet and still, there are less than 2,000 fully licensed females of color in the financial planning industry. Less than 2,000 out of 300 million. So when I say in this industry, you would be a gem, a diamond, you're needed, I want you to join me. I want to welcome more women, more people of color into the industry, so we can shift those numbers, so that we can make a change, so that we can help our people. Let's become some servant leaders, okay? These numbers, to me, they're unbelievable. They blow my mind. I can name 2,000 people. Some of us went to school with 2,000 people, right? And that's all we have in the entire industry representing our culture. It's unbelievable, but it just shows you where the deficit is and what direction we need to be moving in. This is an industry that's growing. This is an industry where you can prosper and you can soar. So don't hesitate, don't wait. If there's ever been a time to pivot and to take some leaps, this would be the time. And especially, a special shout out goes to my women, because we don't have to have men managing our money. We just need the education. So I'm gonna leave it there, and I want y'all to check out these numbers, these facts, these numbers. The article will be listed and posted on my Facebook page as well. But that just goes to show you we are needed, and it's time for us to step up and get active.
That's awesome, Emma.
That is crazy, Shane. I can't believe it.
Y'all, and before the show, like, I looked up some bullying statistics, and those numbers that I got are crazy too. So, y'all, the statistics, when you start looking at stats, you will be so amazed at what you discover versus what they've been telling us, or what we see. You know, is when you read it, it's so different when you see it for yourself, y'all. So look up some statistics. That if you want to be curious about what's really going on, look up some stats, and it will blow your mind. Like 2,000 people.
Isn't that crazy? The word says, "Study to show thyself what." All right. That's right. So it's so important to do your research. Don't just go by what you hear, and not always by what you see. But let this be a cue to you, like, hey, that is crazy to me that with all of the people that take up the US, so few of us are in this industry. So there, not only is there a need, but what happens when we can't relate, or we don't see people who resonate with us? So we go without a lot of times, right? Mm-hmm. So when we say representation matters, who's speaking up for us? Who's helping us? When you want to change trends, when you want to change laws, regulations, when you want to change things, we need to have people voice it for us. So we have to get knowledgeable. We have to get connected. We got to get tuned in, and we got to start participating before we miss out. So a lot of times we're lacking in this financial aspect of things, and it doesn't have to be that way. We need to be the ones making the change. I want to see more people like us in finance.
It's awesome stuff right there. And that's always a good thing. Like I said, we thank everybody for tuning in with us. Big shout out to Anna A herself, Anna C for kicking out some great information. Miss A herself. Big shout out to my home state, Alabama Roll Tide, of course. And also big shout out to my Dallas Cowboys. I will be at the game this Sunday to see them boys in person. I will be there this Sunday night, of course. So I'm looking forward to the game for the season opener as well. Big shout out to also Day Day. I got a shirt on, also everything. Me and Shay was on his podcast last Wednesday. It was awesome. The episode should be going up soon, so I'm looking forward to it. Me and Shay, we chopped it up with that young man here on his podcast last Wednesday as well. And we got a lot of great things going on tonight. Also, well, I guess Tara tonight, she has some great information. She bringing awareness on bullying. We know bullying is a part of our world. We know it's part of the culture. Not something that we don't accept, but we know it's here. And I'm going to ask a lot of stuff. I know that kids get bullied. Is it possible that adults are getting bullied? So we want to talk about all that too. We look at the children, but our adults, grown men and women being bullied by other adults. So we want to talk about that tonight as well. And like I said, big shout out to everybody. Big shout out to George Brooks with Meta here in Dallas, Texas. Big shout out to everybody that's tuning in with the inside the live feed as we live stream here on Facebook Live. And before we get off into our featured guests, we know we got the man himself, the king of Mississippi, diehard Cowboy fan. That's why we get along with each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Great brother, of course. Love sports. And I'm very proud to call him my brother as well. So give a big shout out to Kenny Primetime Williams as he get ready to deliver the latest sports. We know football season is back, baby, and it's here. College, pros, you name it, it's on and popping. And also to the ladies, when your man is watching football, leave him alone while he's watching the football game. But you know what's most important? See, and I like you because you rapping this.
Hey, I
like that.
I can't talk no wrong in Anna right now.
I like that.
No wrong,
so go ahead, Kenny, with the latest sports news.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Mr. Furman. I couldn't wait all day. I've been waiting to talk to my people in the podcast land. Look, ladies and gentlemen, it's week 1. The season is here. All the hoopla is gone. All the hype is gone. Come Thursday, all the way until February, we got football on the television. Ladies, if your husband watching the game, like Mr. Furman said, if your boyfriend, significant other, whoever that might be, season is here. Let him have it. Let him have it time. Look, it's an important season for us men right now, so we finna get our bets in. We finna get our team rights in our head. So big ups to all the men that's getting prepared for the season. I know I'm getting prepared. My household is getting prepared. We got a long season ahead of us. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. But before I do that, I thank you for tuning in. I want to send shouts out to Mobile, Alabama, Dallas, Texas, of course, the whole entire Mississippi Gulf Coast area. Thank you for tuning in. Walking in This Way podcast. We adore you, we love you, and we appreciate you. Let's talk about some sports right now. Again, week 1 is here in the NFL, and Pittsburgh Steelers have named their replacement for their starting quarterback this coming week, and it will be Mitch Trubisky. He will be the successor for retired Ben Roethlisberger for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin, head coach of the Steelers, announced today that he will be starting Mitch Trubisky as their starting quarterback for the entire season. So congratulations, Mitch, on that, and also good luck to you on this upcoming season. Also, the Carolina Panthers named new quarterback starter for week 1 and the entire season, Baker Mayfield. That's right, Baker Mayfield is a former quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. He is now with the Carolina Panthers, and he is named the starter for week 1. Over in Dallas, had a little injury problem, and we still have a little injury problems as we get ready to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday night. But as of yesterday, the Dallas Cowboys signed offensive tackle and former Philadelphia Eagle Jason Peters to a one-year deal to replace the injured Tyree Smith. Tyree Smith got hurt in a spring camp practice and ruled him out for the entire season. So we want to ask for a speedy recovery for Mr. Tyree Smith. Also, big ups to Jason Peters. He's back on the other side now, so we welcome him to Cowboy Nation, and we hope he does well. Now, let's talk about some college football. There was a lot of great games this past week. It was also week 1 for college football. For all conferences, including the HBCUs. What a great game they put on this week. I think this week for everybody was a tune-up game for a lot of teams. Jackson State coming in at national rank at number 17, took on FAMU, Florida A&M, and did a great job. Door Sanders threw 5 touchdowns, making history. Week 1 of the first football game against FAMU, and the final score was 59-3. Jackson State favored. Also, a good SEC game against Florida State. LSU came up short against Florida State, 24-23. It went down to a wire. LSU scored on a last-minute touchdown, and Florida State came in with the field goal block at the end to seal the victory with 2 seconds left on the clock. Also, down in Starkville, Mississippi State took on the Memphis Tigers and beat them 49-23. And in other college scores, Georgia took on Oregon and beat them 49-3. And of course, you can't go nowhere without mentioning Furman's Alabama Crimson Tide with a 55-0 over the Utah State University. You know, I got to say that because I'm a Mississippi State Bulldog. Alabama's in my conference. We don't fall too good with Alabama, but hey, I know you guys are Roll Tide fans, and I respect that. So the score was 55-0 against Utah State. That was a blowout. They should have never showed up on the field. I think so. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to just be excited about this upcoming season. I want you to be excited about life. We thank you for tuning in once again. And before I leave you, I would like to leave you with the final thought. Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come just to clear your path. Again, I'm going to say that. Not all storms come to disrupt you. Your life, anything you're going through, it doesn't always have to come to tear you down, disrupt you. Some storms come to clear the pathway for success. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kenny Primetime Williams. I thank God for each and every one of you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week. You're in the prime zone. Back to you, Mr. Furman. I love you guys, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Appreciate you, Kenny, with the latest sports news and update. Like I said, football season is here. Football season is among us, and I'm very excited about football season. I'm excited about Alabama football. Give a big shout out to Nick Saban. He is the GOAT. And big shout out to the Dallas Cowboys, my childhood team, since I was growing back home in Alabama. And I'm still repping them boys to this day, win or lose, of course. And also, we know we got the latest entertainment news with Coach Shay. And then we're going to hang out with our featured guest, Tara, as we talk about bully prevention, bully awareness. We got some questions, some research, some statistics that's going on. This is a topic that we want everybody to engage in, especially if you have kids, if you have children, or you have nieces, nephews, sons, daughters. Let's talk about this stuff. You never know what's going on at your school while you're away from your child. You never know the kind of stuff they're dealing with when it comes to interacting with other kids. So before we get off in that, Coach Shay, go ahead and take with the latest entertainment news.
Hello, everybody. It's Coach Shay back again with the celebrity tea. So, T.I.'s son, King Harris, was arrested. I think it was like this past weekend. He had a gun charge. And T.I. spoke out about it because everybody was coming at T.I. head. So T.I. spoke out about the arrest of his son. And he told us on Instagram Live, he was talking about it. He said that he told him where his behavior was going to end him up, was going to be in jail. He's not condoning his behavior. He said that him and his uncles have pulled him aside and have spoken with him. And he said he's his own man. He just turned 18, And he's like he's his own man now. His decisions is totally on him, and his behavior, if he continues, he's gonna end up in jail for a long amount of time. And I will keep you guys updated on his charge whenever he go back to court. Right now he's out on bond. Of course, T.I. got him out on bond, but he still has to, he's still the same at the end of the day. Just like T.I. was saying, like, you get pulled over, it don't matter what color you is, it don't matter who child you are, none of that. The consequences of your actions still gonna be the same. So he doesn't differ. So I'll keep you guys updated about that. Y'all, Nick Cannon does it again, y'all. He does it again. Nick Cannon is welcoming another baby, y'all. This man at this point is unstoppable. I just don't understand what the women that he come in contact would be thinking about, or if they be thinking. But Nick Cannon is about to have another baby. He just had a baby June 28th. Just had a baby boy, the baby boy, which was legendary. Now he is him and Brittany Bell are about to welcome another baby. This will be her third baby with Nick Cannon. So the kids that they had together are golden and powerful queens. Y'all, they get more and more creative with the names as the years go on and on. And it just be amazing me as the names just get more and more phenomenal. Our girl Megan Thee Stallion has been going international. She's international tour right now. She's on tour right now. She visited Japan. Her next stop is Belize. And she's been receiving a lot of backlash, but I'm really over here like, where is the love at? Like, I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan of Megan Thee Stallion or anything, but I'm not hating on her. We pretty much watched her evolution. It's like watching, Cardi B kind of chill out. We kind of watched her evolve. So seeing her go international is kind of, inspiring for, the little Black girls like her in ourselves. So that's inspiring to someone around the world, I'm sure. And in Saturn news, 600 Breezy, girlfriend Raven Jackson committed suicide today, y'all. Lady jumped to her death. It's so sad. I'm glad we're talking about bullying. Because even cyberbullying is a form of bullying. You don't even have to be in person no more. Cyberbullying is very, very popular. He released 600 Breezy released the last statements that she wanted to say to him, which was the last text messages that she was talking about how she was just really in pain and how she just didn't want to live anymore. And he just said he felt awful because he knew she was fighting these demons, and he felt like he didn't save her. But she was telling him there wasn't really anything he could do about it. She was already having these problems, issues before he even met her. So mental health is very important, y'all. We talk about this a lot on the podcast. We talk about this more than often because mental health is so important, and it's attacking people. People are feeling like they don't belong here, like they don't fit. And it's very important if you are in that space to seek help. It's okay to ask for help. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your immediate family, talk to a stranger. A lot of the times we get more comprehensive and better responses from people we don't even know, rather than our families judging us, even though they tell us not to do these type of things. But some things you got to go outside the family and really tell people what's really going on with you that know nothing about you. So they won't be there to judge you. They'll be there to help you. So that's my time. That's all I have for the celebrity tea today.
Appreciate you, Coach Shay, with the latest entertainment news. A lot of stuff goes on. It don't matter. Color, suicide don't see color. Suicide don't see gender. suicide don't see road. Suicide is suicide. People going through a lot of stuff, especially we experienced that due to the pandemic when COVID hit. The suicide
Yeah.
rate shot up high. Being isolated from people, being isolated from your family, being isolated from your loved ones. Uh, this stuff is really serious. Communication is important. Being emotionally involved with each other is important as well. And you never know the stuff that people carry on the inside. People walk around today like a ticking time bomb. You don't know what a person's going through when they leave your presence. You never know what other children going through. You may see them at school. You never know what children going through when they leave your presence. You never know what's going on in somebody's household. You never know what's going on inside your neighbor's household or your family member household. We don't know. But this stuff is very, very safe, very, very deeply with us. And like I said, we do have Tara with us tonight. She is our featured guest. She's an expert on bullying prevention. She has over 20 years. She's a vet in the game, y'all, but 20 years of experience when it comes to this type of work, family structure. Family is important to us. Being better is what it's all about. And also, I got a few comments in the comment section. But Anna, George Brooks said he got to get with you soon. That we said in the comment section. So we're gonna be talking about tonight. So Tara, go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience that's watching us right now, as we're live streaming right now on Facebook Live. Introduce yourself, give us a little background information about you, and we'll let you know to this point where you're at today when it comes to your campaign, your awareness to help us understand bullying prevention.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me once again. And thank you for that information, the financial information. That was amazing. So I had my little pen out. But I am Tara Lynn Townes. And as you stated before, I am the CEO of TBB Enterprises. And that acronym stands for the Bullying Buddy, because I'll get to that. I actually have a resolution for bullying and definitely have a resolution for suicide prevention and mental health. I'm a therapist by trade as well. I'm a developmental therapist, and I have definitely a lot of years of experience in working with families, children, youth. I want to say men too, because I was a mentor of the Women's Welfare Work Program. I've done a lot of work in the trenches with women, but I really do have a soft spot for men, because society teaches our men not to feel and not to be present in that mental space. And so I definitely have male clients and have had male clients as well. But a little bit of my backdrop is my son. I'm lucky and grateful, not lucky, I'm a believer in God, to have my inspiration. I call him my daily dose of inspiration. And he's walking around me every day and next to me every day. He keeps me focused and driven on this. He was born with dwarfism, and he was bullied literally to the point of no return. And what I mean by that is he shut down emotionally and mentally at an early age of 8 years old. And so that's pretty tough. And I'm in school, my master's, learning about, mental health and mental awareness and going through my therapeutic journey. And here I see signs and different things that my own son was expressing to me, but not verbally, right? Because how can someone 8 really say what they feel or really communicate to us in that space, the mental illness space? So when he came home with missing skin, everyone always asked me, was it just him being bullied? No, it was him coming home with missing skin, because I'm a mom and I wasn't so nice back then. I've grown tremendously. Okay, I've learned to really, really have patience with this, because being violent, even though I work with families who have lost children between the ages of 7 and 17, and we'll get into that a little bit more as well. I would love to. I also say that expressing, negative emotions or being physical is not going to get anything fixed with a school or a system or the government or anything. So you have to learn how to control. But as a parent, that was the first thought in my head, like, really? Okay, where's your mom? Why, my son is missing skin on his chin, his hands, and his legs, because what they were doing, because he was so little, was stepping on the back of his feet and making him fall on his face. And he was coming home, as children will and do, lying and protecting them. Oh, I bought my friend lunch, but he would be ravished. I'm like, you can't be ravished. I gave you money to buy lunch. I wasn't hungry then. I'm hungry now. These are science parents. So as I speak, I always kick knowledge, but I also honestly I'm educating as I'm going, because I work with these moms, and there's nothing like sitting next to a mom that has lost a child between that age group in general, but 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old. I'm working with two moms right now, 14 and 15. They're young ladies, just committed suicide, hung themselves because they were bullied. So that is my backdrop, my passion, and my drive is to have legislature, things take place like a bill, and we're working on it hard. I have, I'm in the process of moving towards running for office on the federal level, because that's where it needs to. We're past the state level. This is a pandemic that lives within a pandemic. This is not a joke. There were 100 children in the last few months that have taken their lives, but the CDCs, you talk about stats, they're off, they're wrong. They say 5,000 a year and 2,500 are related to bullying. I beg to differ from the numbers that I personally get contacted for. So thus, we'll get to the app, the resolution, but I'm presenting my why and definitely the issue, and it's real. This is just, one of the young ladies was just buried on last Friday. So this is how real and how recent and how current this is. We're losing our children. And I want to give another statistic. Mental illness. I'm, once again, developmental therapist by trade, but statistically speaking, white males and white females were leading in suicide in our nation, right? We never had, it was in 2010, there was maybe 1 or 2 reported cases of a child, African-American child. We don't have that, right? We do now though. So I'm here to say we're leading. We're leading right now statistically. Our children are leading in suicide in this nation. So that's a problem for me. Any child, I honestly do not dismiss any other culture, but I am African-American. So I'm speaking about it because I'm very upset about it. But I'm here to fight for every child that doesn't want to be here anymore. And we'll get into any questions. Like I said, I've been doing this for a very, very long time, but my forte is behavioral redirection. That's what I am, I'm a specialty. I specialize in that. So that is what it's all about, is redirecting that behavior. But you got to know about it, and you got to get in there. And our kids are also clams. They're not talking to us anymore. This nation with this separation and, us being socially distanced caused our children to really go so far within, they don't even know how to get their own selves out. So this is another thing that, I'm here, and anyone listening tonight, please listen to that. Talk to your children, open up, get them open, and don't talk at them, talk to them.
And that's important. Communication is important. Just being open about this stuff that is taking place in our homes right now. We look at social media. And I'm not we want to go after other things, but we're not targeting our family. Even the Bible says, how can a man take care of God's house if he can't take care of his own house? So we know that the home is important. We want to advance out here, but our home is broken. The children is broken. The spouses are broken, but we're not really taking time out to really get this stuff. Because, like I said, kids are dealing with a lot of stuff on a regular basis. Back when we were growing up, I'm 40, but we weren't exposed to a lot of stuff as we are today. The TV show we grew up on wasn't as vulgar they are today, but it's children being on social media. I know Shay mentioned cyberbullying. That goes on. Being a lot of stuff is going on. Kids talking to each other on video games, being bullied that way. What I'm gonna ask this there, where do we need to start at? Because we are the mess, and this is something that is affecting our community on a regular basis. We put that band-aid on like we got it together, and we don't got it together. So where do we need to start at today? We need to start. We had the problems, but now we need to start bringing solutions to the problems.
So the first place we need to begin, just as a society, is letting go of the labels and the cliches. I don't know how many, and I am African American, so I'm not talking about us, I'm with us, I'm here for us. But I don't know how many African-American people say to me, that's therapy's for white people. That's for crazy people. No, stop it, please. And this is why our children are leading right now. It's not for white people. It's for anyone who feels that they are out of control with the situation. And I don't mean it means that they're crazy out of control. You can be a little bit out of control with something, but it means that you yourself are not able to grow through the situation. So you need help. That's all it is. Look at it as someone, I always say this to my clients, you already have it in here. Sometimes we lose touch with what we already have on the inside to create what we want on the outside. And we just need a little guidance. So let go of that, please, that stigma, the labels, you're crazy, this veganism is for white people. Nothing is for white. You want to be healthy and you want to be mentally sound more than anything else. Because if you're not mentally sound, your body's not going to follow, and then nothing's going to really follow with that. So that's number one. With that, the labels do is they allow excuses to live, right? And so when you have a label, then if a child hears their parents saying, oh, you're not going to therapy, that's for white kids. So then what are they going to think? Oh, wow, I have this issue. I'm not crazy, so I don't even want to tell anyone about it. We're forcing our children seriously, and I mean Black, white, Asians, because I have all types of clients. We're forcing children to deal with things that they're not developmentally able to handle. So how are you handling coping skills? This is my next point. Coping skills. We have to develop those. So you don't come out the womb saying, where's my bottle? Where's my pacifier? See you guys later. Give me the car keys, right? It's a process to raising a child. There's a process to understanding yourself, and there's a process to coping with conflict. What do we have in place? There's not one federal law, number one, just to let everyone know, there's not one. We pray to be the first bill in federal law. Number two, we have state laws that aren't being fulfilled or aren't being really pushed. School ups, the parent handbook is updated 20 years ago. I'm like, okay, you're supposed to do this like annually, right? We're losing children, but I can go on there and it said updated 2016. Well, where's the policing body, right? Where's the governing body to say you must do this? Nothing is mandated. There's no structure. So providing education, that's number one. I have children that say, Miss Tara, I'm not being bullied, Miss Tara. He just took all my friends away and it made me sad. That's a clinical type of bullying. It's called social and relational bullying. There are 7 types of bullying. So we need to educate our children. How do you report something if you don't even know what's going on with you, right? How do you even know how to communicate something if you don't know what's going on? And then if you're told you can't say this, or this is not for you, this is only for a certain culture, then you're really going to be quiet, right? Because now you don't know what's going on. You don't know how to say it, and then you're told not to say it. So the beginning to this healing process, seriously, is to educate our babies on what the heck it is. What is it? Like a class. This is what I'm fighting for. I wrote a curriculum to support the app that we'll get into, but it really is the resolution. This is not about finance, and this is clearly about saving lives. That's how we begin.
And that's it. And I'm reading the comments too.
Wow.
Further. George P. Bruce says, I was heavily bullied as a child, hell, and as an adult. So what you want to say about that, Tara?
Yeah, wow.
I was just contacted by a gentleman who's being cyberbullied right now. He's an adult, and I do have an adult version of my app because a lot of people, we focus on children because it's staggering to me that a 7-year-old in our nation is hanging themselves. And I'm a little edgy, y'all, so I'm sorry because I got to let people know these calls I'm on, these meetings I'm in, these going to these homes with these parents. I'm seeing this stuff. This is not made up, like the bunk bed in the closets from where these babies are doing this. People have to know how they're doing and not just what they're doing. So what I say to that is that when you are, I don't call anyone a victim. I speak positive terms and positive into the universe. So I just say you are a receiver of the bullying. So when you're a receiver of the bullying as a child and no one ever helped you out of that space, guess what? You become a target as an adult. Not all the time. Some of us grow, into ourselves and we don't allow people to violate us. But a lot of the times we will definitely be another receiver of bullying as an adult. Just like I always say too, little bullies become what? Big bullies. That's what they become. No one fixed them. And I'm not here to bash bullies because they're kids. I want to remind people they're 9 years old and 7 years old. So you can't say, I can't stand bullies. I hate bullies. Let's just beat their butts. And okay, so you're going to beat them and they're already, antagonizing and hitting people. So you're giving them a license, right? They're learning it from somewhere. Think about that. You're raising them. My new book is coming out. Are you raising a bully? It is literally the Bible to all of this stuff and more. But are you raising a bully? There's signs. So when you see your child taking a knife and chasing your sibling, or you see your child put your cat's head down the toilet and really smash it in there and want it and harm people intentionally, excuse me, that's not funny. Don't put that on TikTok. That's not a joke, because you're giving your own child a license to go out there and harm other people because you think it's funny. Children, I don't care what age, what stage, children love attention. So do adults, but children really love attention. It drives their entire spirit. So if you're laughing and, oh, look at this and look at that, guess what? You're going to get more of that. And then don't get mad when they go to school because they've been in this behavioral pattern for many years and they start violating. Now you got to miss work and go to school and they're in trouble. And it's just a cycle, but it could be stopped. It could be stopped early.
I can truly attest to that. I wanted to come on here because, first of all, this topic is very, very dear to my heart. I was a victim of bullying. What it did for me, it brought me out. It brought me more out. I became more outspoken. Little short story. I was in middle school and I was playing football and I was the shortest person on the team. And but I had the biggest heart. A lot of coaches still say it to this day. But the upperclassmen and the bigger guys, they were bullying the lower classmen. And I was just by chance left in the locker room alone when the big guys came in and put me in an entire dryer. A dryer that dried clothes in, turned it on. And it was nothing but the grace of God that one of the coaches came in within seconds and stopped. Just imagine if when they turned it on and left, I've been stuck in the dry, I would not be talking to you guys today. But that damaged me a lot. I went home, told my mom, told my dad, went home crying. I didn't want to play football anymore. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to be around those guys because I felt like if you did that to me, what else you'll do to me out there on the field. So, it took me a while, but I came out of it. And I was able to, progress and get better at it. But, bullying is a serious thing because it will stick with you as a grown person. And I'm a person to tell you that I was able to see those guys again as a grown man. Class reunions, even though now they look at it as a funny, it was a joke. But when we talk about it, I'm the only one not laughing. And so it was a big deal, but I'm over it now. But it's a story to tell people that's probably going to start this, especially little small athletes. Some of these kids are just playing sports, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. They're trying it for the first time, not knowing that there's upperclassmen. They're going to try you. They're going to bully you, and sometimes it can go too far. And so that's one of the situations that we're dealing with in today's society.
That is it. I'm glad that you said that, Kenny, because I was sitting here thinking when Tara was talking, I was thinking like, when we was growing up, we'll scowl on you. We're going to talk about your mama. We gonna do all that. And like you said, it was funny. Now that's gonna get physical. That's gonna, now it's taking it too far. So Tara, by you being in this arena for so long, I'm only 30. And by you being in this arena for so long, when did you start noticing that it was getting like more serious? Because I'm like, when I was growing up, I graduated in 2010. So when I was growing up, that wasn't a big, like we'll talk about each other. And if you talk about our mama, we might fight you. But that was just a mama thing. You can't disrespect mama. But now it's like any little thing now for children are triggers. And when did that, you started? So my question was, are our kids these days too sensitive? Or back then were we like just desensitized? Or it didn't matter to us?
No, that's a very, very good question. And it comes up often when I'm meeting with policymakers. Back then, and we used to crack too, we used to call it cracking. We definitely did that. I was bullied. I was an overweight child, so my cousins, but it wasn't fun. We didn't get physical. And if we started getting a little angry, we'd have our aunt or our parents say, that's enough in there, and then we would laugh it off and that would be it. But society was different as well. I mean, you listen to the music today and you see everything on the news. People do not have coping skills, and to couple with that, they have a lack of empathy. So this is the bottom line. You definitely can take someone's life if you really don't value life, right? If you have nothing to lose, if that's what society is saying, take it into your own hands. You have a neighbor who, didn't shovel his snow. This was really during the pandemic, and the other neighbor took the shovel and hit him in his head and killed him. I mean, like we're showing these kids that violence is the way that they're going to get things done, or the way that things can be handled. And this is my point about coping skills. Also, back in the day, we had families. We had families that were together. We had it takes a village to raise a family methodology, whether we had or we didn't have. I know I grew up in a small town in New Jersey, so anything, I can come in off my curfew and Miss Gert would be in the window. I'm telling your dad. And I'm like, man, Miss Gert, why? But listen, that's what we had. We don't have that today. It's like everyone's on their own. And then with the social distancing, it really, really, really brought to light the level of mental illness. It is not the blame for it, right? We've been traumatized through it by so much death. We're just like, wow, someone died. Wow, can you pick up your phone? It's not that you don't care, but it's sad. It's like neutralized now,
Yes.
But the bottom line is we didn't have that before, right? You had respect for elders before. I know me, even people who were not my aunt, my dad would still have us call if they were of a certain age. It would be aunt so-and-so, and then not even family. We don't have that anymore. Our values are where are they today? We have the loss of the male in the home. We have single parent house, and there's males who also have women who've left them with kids too. I'm in the middle with everything because I see, hear, and get everything that comes to me, so I know it's even, But my point is the structure, the value system, and then you get a pandemic that robs you and rips you from even trying to have a structure, right? How have our holidays been through the past few years? You can't really go over anyone's home, and if you do, my brother and I were laughing today. He was like, when I'm talking to people and they sneeze, they're like, I promise it's not COVID. We're like, so you know what I mean? Like, you don't want anyone to cough. And I'm not even gonna lie, when I'm in a restaurant and someone doesn't cover up, I get mad and I said, can you move my son and I, please? Can you move us? Because I don't want to be near that cough. But the bottom line is the respect level is not there. Empathy is not there. And then we have leaders. Our former president, seriously, I'm not either, whatever. I know what I am. I'm a Democrat, y'all. But the point is, I'm not going to bash leaders, but you did have one to talk about disabled people. I don't even use that word he used, and he made fun of the young man in the airport. I mean, like, who does that? What adult does that? But it's just it's careless and it's reckless behavior. So what are we exposing our children to? What music do they listen to? What are they watching on TV? Reality shows, that's the reality. You have a whole bunch of money of it, and then you stand on tables and you throw champagne on each other. And that's it. It's like, really? And then we wonder why they're fighting each other, because we're seeing it in everything that we do around us. All we're seeing is violations and people fighting and arguing. And then we have people whom I call supporters of that bullying who just coach them on. They TikTok somebody getting beat up and mortified. They have to go to school the next day. They don't want that all over social media. I have a little boy that I'm working with that they went in and they filmed him using the restroom. Who does that? And then he's mortified and became suicide. This case after case, story after story. But the bottom line is that there's a lack of empathy as a world So it's changed. My dad said exactly what you said. My dad said, Lulu, when I was a kid, punched a bully in the nose around everyone. He's 83. I'm like, okay, Dad, today you go ahead and do that. And you got guns coming back to the classroom to shoot up innocent people that really weren't even at your fight the day before yesterday. Or you have people who are bullies and they're not getting help. They don't want to do this, you guys, honestly. It is a targeted behavior, so I can't make excuses. It is a targeted behavior. They literally target. That is the definition of a bully, to impose intentional harm. So it's not that they don't know what they're doing, and it's not that they are not intending on. The thing is that it's a pattern. It's a struggle for power. They're really insecure. So all of you adults who are being bullied online and it's frustrating, I get people reaching out to me. I mean, high-end career people like, do you have an attorney that can help me? Can you help me? I want to leave this job, but I can't. I make so much. I'm being bullied by this. My supervisor's jealous of me and they keep embarrassing me in front of, I get everything that you can imagine under the moon. Cyberbullying. I have a man right now who just contacted me that I'll be working with. He also is in therapy because he can't function. This bully took some of his personal business and put it all on blast because we have what? We don't have laws that protect. So that's public information when you have a public record. So, I mean, it's just thing after thing. But the bottom line is that we need to heal the bully. And I'm going to say this, and this is the truth, and this is why I can't wait to release this book in October. We need to heal him in the pre-operational stage of development before you operate. You don't heal people after they're operating. How? I mean, this is why we still have bullying going on, and it's in middle school. No, it's not. It's in the pre-operational stage of development, 2 to 5. If you catch it there with the siblings, stop making excuses, parents. Stop saying, oh, he's just a boy. Oh, girls just do cat fights. Boys will be boys and girls will be, don't do it. Because I work with the people who have to bury their children. So I'm real serious about this. And that could have been my son. But thank the Lord God put me in this place. And this is my calling. And I didn't even think it was going to be. I thought it was going to be working with teen moms, y'all. But this is what it is.
And this is some serious stuff. This is stuff that we're hearing every day. That's not really being showed on television. And then we so caught up in this chasing the bag and so caught up in this generational wealth, but we're losing our family. We're losing our babies. So we so caught up in chasing this bag, and I'm not knocking that to my baby. Well, what about getting our families together? What about getting our kids prepared to get them to open up to us? And that's another thing, fear. I'm gonna ask about that too, Tara. Fear. Growing up, our parents didn't talk about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that was never discussed or addressed, but now kids
and there was certain things we couldn't ask.
Yeah, certain things we couldn't ask, like paying for sex and everything else. Right. And now that's why our kid was getting so peculiar knowing about sex and getting into pornography, all this other stuff, exploiting sexual objects, all this stuff, because we was never able to talk about this stuff today. The communication part, how can we start communicating? Especially men, I know as men, we have that hard time of communicating. It's stuff we were traumatized growing up as a kid. Maybe a lot of us came from domestic violent homes where the father would abuse the mother. Do you deal with men on that level that been traumatized by that, but never got the properly healing, but they take it out on their significant other? I know some women say, well, the guys they with, they seen with their father abuse their mother. Now they do the same thing as well also.
Absolutely. Behavior is modeled. Once again, we don't come out the womb hating people. We don't come out the womb, Black people not liking white people and white people not liking Black people and abusing people and killing people. And so we don't come out the womb doing that. It's a learned behavior. So I say this, and I love working with males. I like to open them up because a lot of our males are closed. And they're also taught that speaking and being emotional is a weakness, when in fact, it's paramount. It's paramount to the success in your finances. It's paramount to the success in your relationships. It all plays in. It all ties in. So what I say to that is, Yes, I definitely work with people. I'm big on patterns. I don't look at people as a people. And even when I'm doing my work with people, it's a pattern. You don't hate your sister. You hate the pattern, right? So if you
Right.
remove that right there, you're going to walk into breakthrough because you're going to be open to shifting. I don't believe in change, but I believe in shifting. It's a whole nother show of why, and I have my evidence to back it up. But I do believe that people can shift out of patterns because I see it every day. I help people every day do that. So when a male lets go of all of the conditioning systems, if you truly want to heal from anything, anyone, that you have anything going on, you must get rid of the very conditioning system that put you into the place that you are. It behooves me a lot when I sit here and people say, oh, I just want to do this. And then they just go right out and have a cigarette. I want to stop. I want to live. I don't want to have lung cancer, but you still grab it for the cigarette. So you must separate yourself, who you are, self, from your pattern first. Then you can really look at it. If we're stuck in it, we can come to me all day long and you can pay me and I'll charge you, right? Because I have to. But the bottom line is, if you still have your pattern stuck on your back, I don't care how good I am. I've been doing it for a long time. You're not going to see a breakthrough. So this is what we must teach children too. Separate the pattern from the child, from your sibling, from your oh my God, I lost my train of thought. From a student, a friend, or what have you. Separate that, because then you yourself won't go into that zone of, I hate this bully, right? You spoke about fear. Fear is the number one thing of all of the characters. People want to focus on 2 individuals in bullying. And in my book, I explain there's 6 individuals in bullying. It's not just a bully and what people call a victim. I don't say the word victim, I say receiver. There's a bully, but there's a supporter, there's a watcher, there's instigators that come around him, go get him, go get him. There's helpers, hold him down. I didn't beat him up, but you held him down. Stop it. The person around, I call them the watcher. There's a whole section psychologically. The watcher does not know how powerful they are in the bullying scenario. In fact, they are the most important person because they can stop it. But instead, they stand there with their phone and they record it for the bully, or they put it online and make the child not want to be there or return to school. Why? You must ask yourself. But when I work with a watcher, I say, do you understand that you're a bystander? Why isn't the bully attacking you? Because he fears you. He only attacks people that he feels he can get away with that power struggle with. You obviously don't send off, hey, vibes that, hey, violate me. And I get with the receiver. We got to be tough with these kids too. You're not a victim. That's why I don't like that word, right? I don't judge people who use it, y'all, but I'm saying I don't prefer it because we're empowering them. Don't give off a vibe that you can do this to me. Stop holding your head down when you're walking down the hallway with your books. Hold your head up. Put your books right there. Hold your head up just like everyone else. So what, you have braces. So what, you're little. So what, you're overweight. So what, you're albino. So what, so what. Walk like you're not. And you will not give off that vibe. You can go ahead and do anything you want to me. Here I am. This is what we really need to train these kiddos on, for real. And then we'll see a shift. You get rid of the bully by shrinking him. You don't get rid of him by beating him up. You don't because he's going to retaliate, right? He has a violent nature. You shrink his power. That's how you get rid of him. And you shrink his power when you're empowered, just like women who are abused. Have your exit plan and please be safe with it. But what I'm saying is, the minute you start retracting and shrinking the power and the control is the minute he's either going to fold or flee. He'll either fold in to beating you more because he may not be all the way there and he may be, at a high level of mental illness, or he's going to leave you alone, or he'll let you leave the situation, right? And I said, once again, have an exit plan when you're doing that, because that definitely can be dangerous and women try to leave all the time. But it really is, I'm serious about it. I can explain it. It's a teeter-totter. The little slide we used to be on of power. It's a release of power and it's a receiving of power. So are you going to reject someone's power so you can balance them? Yeah, that's what you need to do. If someone's overpowering, that's why the word is overpowering, not just power, right? We can have power and it's imbalance. But when it's over, that means there's no balance. Something is more than something. So when you show them that they're more than something, is not going to make you less than something, you're beginning to heal, and you're healing him as well. And I'm relating to children and even adults at the workplace. Don't go in there complaining to HR. Go to that person directly and call people out. You have laws to protect you. There's gag orders. There's all types of things that adults really don't know. You don't have to be cyberbullied at work. Are you kidding me? You don't have to be made to feel less than on a project where you know you did it. Speak up for yourself. And listen, if you lose something in the process of gaining yourself, go ahead. It's worth it. It's worth it. If you lose your job, but you gain yourself, oh my God, God has another job for you, kid. God does not want us to be violated. He made us to be free spirits, not to be controlled and violated. So you got to have faith in your walk that I'm going to be protected and I'll have another job, or I might bring light to this boss who needs to be fired. There's every boss has a boss. So I also, let people know that as well. These are just some tips, you guys.
Man, awesome stuff here on tonight's show. So there's some great stuff that's going on.
That's amazing.
Oh, go ahead, Shay. You could ask
Tara is amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Like when you describe the different type of bully, like how it plays a part, I literally was talking to my cousin about that the other day. And I was like, the watcher disturbs me the most because I literally watched a video of somebody recording a baby drowning. And they could have saved that baby life. But instead, like you said, they sitting there with their phone, just recording away while the baby flipping back and forth in the water, struggling. And I mean, they watched this baby struggle for about 5 minutes to live.
How can somebody, that's heartless. They're just so heartless, man.
How can you, and it's so frustrating because like you said, you're the most powerful person in the situation. You have the most control of the situation. And most of the time, when a person even filming, they in the duck, they ducked off, nobody's seeing you, nobody really watching you. So you can call for help. And I was sitting up there thinking like, when is this person gonna scream for help? Like, I'm watching the video like, oh my God, like they didn't scream help. They was like at a public pool and the parents had left the baby because the baby could float. But they had just walked away from the baby, not checked on the baby or nothing. He probably about 2 or 3 years old. But I'm like, you watching this child struggling and you recording and you're not screaming, somebody help him, somebody, I would have been going crazy.
Yes.
Screaming, because I can't really just swim or nothing. But I would have been going crazy, like somebody get the child, somebody help him.
Screaming and coming to their aid. It's a shame. And a lot of the people who film, a lot of people are nosy, and it's just what it is, right? And then a lot of people are scared. But when it comes to life and death, stop. Because if you do have the time to sit here and pull something out and press a button and watch the whole thing, that disturbed my spirit, by the way. I'm like sitting here like I gotta go to the Lord later on that one. That's insane.
It's insanity.
It's insane.
I'm like that, and all that time you could have been called 911. In a lot of instances, I thought about that too. In a lot of instances, we trying to go viral.
Right. I said, stop worrying about the likes, y'all, please.
Yes, like you're trying to go viral off of this negative content, and most people are very successful with this tactic.
Oh yeah, they are. Stop.
They're very successful. It frustrates me so much to see like we can get so much, people push negativity so much, but let somebody make a positive post or create an affirmation or anything. I mean, even the positive content gets pushed to the back of the algorithm.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know that. Negative content gets pumped out because TikTok's gonna ask you, do you want to see more of this? Just like Tara said, whatever you want to see more of, they'll give it to you. You'll see more of it. So if you want to see more negative things and keep feeding yourself the negativity, you can be supplied a buck ton of it negativity if you want.
Very true.
And it's amazing. It's amazing how, just like now, like you said, we have so much connection with everything. Back then, we weren't connected to everything and everybody around the world. We can see this was the first war that went all over the world that we could see soldiers videotaping them blowing people's heads off. I'm like, where is the filters? Where is the taking it down now? Where is the reporting for violence?
Right.
Because Facebook and TikTok is so big on reporting things and taking things down, and we in Facebook jail for 30 days for using profanity,
right,
or nudity. But y'all literally got people in other countries getting their head blown off, people getting assaulted in countries, millions of dead bodies laying in the middle of the street, and this can be televised and publicized, and that's fine.
Right.
It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
It is. It most certainly is. And you are absolutely correct. That's why I'm speechless, because it's the truth. It's exactly the truth. And this is what our children are seeing. So they're being taught that negativity is okay and positivity is a pipe dream. Really?
Well, they go on what the Bible says. Well, they go back what the Bible says, that they call evil good, good evil. So that's what's going on today. So everything really fulfilling itself according to that aspect. And a lot of things. I know, I think last year sometime we had people committing suicide on Facebook Live. Like they were live streaming themselves, taking their own lives, and people just sitting there watching. Or you see somebody being victimized and they go live stream with it.
And like I couldn't have done, like I could never be no one of my friends. If I know where you live at, I'm finna be on live hoping I can make it to you before you do this. I'm finna be calling on mama 911, somebody to hit your door before you do this something something that people like. Death is irreversible, y'all. That's a permanent fix. Nothing gonna bring these children back from these type of things. You don't come back. People don't come back. Like, and I feel like they be making, I ain't gonna say, I feel like they make a mistake, because God didn't say it was your time.
Right.
God didn't punch your clock. You ended your own life. You took it upon yourself to decide that this is what you wanted to do. So this is another touchy thing when it comes to suicide that we've heard in the Black community for a long time. A lot of people would tell us, well, if you commit suicide, if you kill yourself, you're going to hell.
Right. That's a big one.
If you kill yourself, you're going to hell. And I had a lady's son that did commit suicide that I follow really heavy. And she was talking about how that her son believed in God. And she had told him that if he ever decided to do anything like that, that promise me that you'll make your peace with God.
Mm-hmm.
And so the day that he did decide, he texted her and he said, I made my peace with God. Okay, Mom? And she just knew that that was it. Like, she was like, all these years I had been fighting and we had been battling it. And I feel like, is there really, because as they get older, they can veer from the help. You know, like you can take them to therapy and counseling as a kid and you thinking, you know, everything is good. And then as they get older and start to live on their own, these things might start to reoccurring again, but now they're an adult. They don't want to tell you. Now they like, I don't need to run on my mom. I don't need to tell my mom, you know? So it's like, once they start to get older, what is a way to, you know, like help your child when they're no longer in the house with you?
That's a good question. And suicide is heavy. I mean, that's a whole nother show by itself. It just really is. There are so many different signs that you can ignore that kind of are just regular things that would happen to that you wouldn't think. There are things that some parents, like in my opinion, I'm not judging that mom because this is a touchy subject. It's very touchy. That's why I'm being very careful of what I'm about to say. But there are some things that can just be the last little, remember I said behavior is a teeter-totter, emotions are teeter, it'll be that one little thing. So in his mind, not faulting the mom, because when you don't know and you're frustrated and it's a long battle, mental illness is a battle, you guys. It really, really is, no matter what it is. If it's bipolar, if it's manic, if it's whatever it is, if it's suicidal. In most youth, if their serotonin levels are not, depleted enough to have them really clinically deep depressed, is situational. That's why I said we control their life when they're with us. So it's very important what you're saying. What we get or give to them when they're right under our thumbs, we pray that they take it with them, but not all the time they do, because we don't even know what to say or do either. It's the signs that you look for, or the signs that you should be made aware of. So in his case, he really was looking for and searching for something, obviously, that he wasn't getting. But in his case, her peace that she made was make peace with God. And I agree with that. I'm not going to fight that. But in his mind, he could have took it like, that's all I have to do is make peace with God and I'm be good. Now I could go ahead and do what I was going to do. So you see, this that little play on words could be the last thing that, I once again, I speak to, and I can't share the intimate details, but I do wonder, what was the last thing when we're doing intake, for the legal stuff, what was the last thing said? What was the last thing done? Most of the kids want their favorite meal, and it's breakfast for dinner. That is what I'm seeing in a lot of these cases. Is something very awkward and weird before the event takes place. But a lot of the times, our children are talking to us. They're talking to us through action, not words, because how can you communicate, I don't want to live anymore, at 7 and 8 and 9? So in his case, if he battled it for a long, long time, which it sounds like, and it sounds like she just wanted to make peace with it too, because it's agonizing to know that your child is suicidal. Are you kidding me? You won't sleep. You won't. And I'm very transparent, and I do this. You won't sleep. You're going to put every pillow away. You're going to check on them every 5 minutes, because as moms, we don't want to lose our children, but instead we need to open them up. As I said, the more someone is suicidal, the more clam they become, but they will definitely, believe me when I tell you, unless you're in a place of psychosis and you really detach from any thought process, no one really wants to die. It's the circumstances that are killing them. And adolescents, they copy. Just like you have adults who, I was just talking to my dad about this morning. You have serial killers, right? They call them copycats. Well, can you, all of you, I'm sure, have been around children. And if you're in a preschool setting, what do they do that early? If someone goes, then the other one's going, they all copy each other, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they do. And unfortunately, it is human nature to copy a behavior. Not everyone does. You have some people that just won't do it because it doesn't fit them. But you have adolescents, they're searching. They're impressionable. They don't know, what clique am I? Am I an athlete? If I'm not an athlete and I'm a nerd, am I the cheerleader? Am I, the goddess? And I mean, there's so many societal pressures and labels. They don't know where to fit in. So they're trying themselves. Once again, the theme that I'm going to say tonight is that they're left on their own to decipher all of these things that they're not developmentally ready for. So we know how much pressure we get as adults. You got a mortgage, you got a car, you got this, somebody's cheating, someone's lying, someone stole something. It's just always something, right? And we go to God like, Lord, can you imagine an 8-year-old that is fearful going to school every day? Like, I'm going to school to get beat up, not to go to science class. This is what they're faced with. So in answer to your question, I stretched it a little bit because I always like to give, I want to go back to where it begins, not where it is. So if you put that in them when they're early, anyone who takes their life does not have a coping skill. If they had a coping skill, they would be here. I just want to say that. So coping skills are very, very important. And you can't, some people have their mind made up. I'm learning that even as a clinician. Some people, I don't care if you brought the Lord to the table and told them don't do this, they're going to do it because they have their mind made up. And that's someone that's really, really ill and someone that should have been treated way back when. When I hear parents say, I saw him moping around, he's been moping since he was 3. Well, a 3-year-old is not going to mope around. It's situational to be mopey as a 3-year-old. The only time you mope is when you don't get your way, because that's what a 3-year-old does. But if they're just moping when it's happy times or when you're playing with them or what, and they're somber in their nature, you got to look at that and say, okay, that's not a kid. What do they do? They burp, they pass gas, they run, they throw stuff. That's what kids do, right? So it just goes back there. And unfortunately, something was missed back there. So I say to you, for if you have a child growing up with these, emotions and these different things, and then please address them and never think short of anything. And I say this, the most important thing, never think that the smallest thing that you may think is something so simple, right? Breakfast for dinner, but they've been not speaking to you for 3 days. They've been giving things away. That is not usual of an adolescent. Even adults, there's a stage to suicide. And that last stage before you actually do it is you're making preparations. So that's someone that needs to be hospitalized because they've made up their mind, and there's nothing you can do as just an average family member person, not even me, even what I do. If I'm asking someone, do you want to hurt yourself or someone else? And they say yes, that's it. I'm mandated. You got to go to a hospital. I'm not having that on me. You know what I'm saying? But when it's about our kids, it's like we kind of miss things because we say, okay, maybe they just had a bad day. Maybe they just this is a bad world right now.
It is.
So don't view a bad day. Please don't take a bad day lightly. And if that bad day turns into a bad week and a bad month, please address that when it's just a bad minute that they're having. And not everything is a catastrophe, and not everything you should be paranoid, because then you'll start going out of your own mind and you won't be able to help your child. Right. But for people who are not addressed as children, in answer to your question, they most certainly will carry those traits on into adulthood. And once they get out of the home, this is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to say that there's nothing you could do, because you could pray and there's spiritual intervention. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But really, if there's not a lot of direct contact with that child that is now on their own, you have a recipe for chaos. So that line of communication must always be there. And helicopter parents, because I'm a reformed one, my kids checked me on that. I was reformed. I was a helicopter mom. They miss it now that they're 25 years old and in the military. But she always comes back whenever there's anything going on in her life. My daughter definitely, and I had her young. She will call me up and be like, this first. So that line of communication, you got to keep that open. And it's not about you. This isn't answering your question. It's not about us parents. It's really not. So you don't have to be the one in control that knows everything. The quickest thing to clam up your child, I don't care what age, 27, 23, 35, is you know it all because you're the parent. Please stop that method. It doesn't work. It's ineffective. My son told me that last night. So I'm humble. I'm transparent. I'm talking to him and he's like, I don't want to be in a session. So I'm like, whoop, that cap is off. This is mom. What's going on, Corey? We got to meet them where they are. We don't know everything. And I don't even know everything. And I've been doing this for a long time successfully, but I don't know everything. Our children teach something. You can learn something from a 1-year-old if you really pay attention, right? So we got to be humble with them. I always say live on humble hill versus ego valley. Great, you're a parent. You did something wonderful. It doesn't make you who are you? There's a lot of parents out there, right? When it comes to your kid, but you'll beat somebody else up if they violate them. So not respecting someone's information is a violation. When we make our kids feel like their information is invalidated, Lord Jesus, you're creating a situation where you're disconnecting. My kids check me and I let them. They're not crazy with it. I'm saying they hold me accountable. So if my son said, Mom, you said you were going to be on your meeting for 2 hours, it's 2:15. You're 15 minutes over. I wanted to talk to you about something. And it's important. Both are important. He's not rude. He's just speaking up. And I said, Corey, you know what? Give me 10 more minutes. You're like, deal. I'm not mad at him. And I shouldn't be because I told him 2 hours. We have to really, really move aside in this parent stuff that's going on because the world is different today. It's not Mary Poppins in the 2-parent home and dad goes to work and pays the bills and mom is no. I'm a single mom. It's rough out there, seriously. So we have to meet the times where they are. In answer to another question that was posed, meet the times where they are. My son, if I'm sitting here listening to something and I don't agree with it, I'm still not going to sit there and say, do not play that. That is not, no, I'm not going to do that because I'm going to lose him. And I don't mean physically, and it can turn into that. I mean emotionally. We need our children emotionally attached to us, not to the point where they can't function, but to the point where they still feel that they need us. Don't make a kid feel like they're not important, that their information is not important. I quite often hear kids, Mom, I gotta tell, hold on, I had a long day at work, I had this, I had that, okay. And so did they. You better listen to what that child is saying. Can you give mommy 5 minutes? I'm sorry, this has been a long day, but I really want to hear what you have to say. It's just wordplay. We had a little boy that ran and told someone, hey, this is going on. And the person said, hey, I'm dealing with important things. And and it wasn't their parent, and they took their life that night. So I'm trying to tell you, respect your kids' information. Make them feel like what they're telling you is important, and don't be fake with them either. Don't be like, oh my God, that is so great, because they're not stupid. If I say that about the music that Corey really wants to listen to, he's in his little rap stage. So we had this discussion last night for 4 hours on cussing and no cussing. I said, It will not be. He's 14. You will not have that in my house. This is a Christian home. I'm sorry. But Mom, you've heard cusses before. I've heard them, but I don't practice them in my home, and I don't speak it either. And he debated me for 4 hours. I kid you not. And we have these debates, and they're cool because he is a fighter. I trained him a little too well. He's gonna fight everything, right? Respectfully, but you're gonna listen to him, and he doesn't stop until he either persuades you into what he's doing or makes you see the light. And his light is not my light. So I said, hey, after this 4-hour conversation, we agree to disagree. He's like, but Mom, that can be manipulative. I'm like, boy, good night. You know what I mean? Because I'm not even gonna, I gotta work tomorrow morning. Okay, I'm tired. But I still valued him though. And he's like, but what about the creativity, Mom, of an artist? Not all of them are cussing because they're angry and disrespectful. Some of them are cussing because, and I say,
he had a great basis. I give it to the kid. He reminds me of my 11-year-old.
So we have to respect their information. And I don't agree with that, but I let him know that I'm not disagreeing with his opinion of it.
Right. Their opinions be so, my 11-year-old does me that all the time. And I'll be like, really? And now we have, like, when you do, like, you start to sit down and really, talk to your kids and tap in, we found that we have a liking for documentaries. So we watch documentaries together. So it be certain ones that we sit and we'll literally have to pause and be like, he'll be like, no, Mom, because he really didn't have to do that. But if his dad would have done this and this, so we really be having this dialogue going on, but it lets me also know that he understands a lot. Yeah. He understands a lot about what's going on and a lot about how people thinking, what people mind is being triggered by. And it really shed a light, like when he was talking, it really shed a light on a lot of things because my son never dealt with bullying a lot. I will definitely be purchasing your book. He dealt with it a lot. This is his first year in secondary school, and he hasn't been getting bullied as much, like going into this school year, which I'm grateful for. But last year was a mess. He got the police called on him. Like, I could not believe they called the police on my 10-year-old child. It was horrendous. It was horrific. I had already been trying to contact the disciplinarian and the deans and inform them about what was going on. They kind of really pushed me off and was ignoring me. They didn't contact me back until it escalated. And he was like, well, you know what? Y'all keep bullying me. I'm bringing the strap to school, so he made a threat. And because it was just all the school shootings had just happened, and they had just made the law that you got to call the police if, the child make a threat. And here we go. I'm getting called to the school, my 10-year-old, and he being investigated by the police. And I'm like, that is terrifying for a child.
Yes.
Like, that is terrifying for a child. Like, I'm just like, and I was telling the police officer, I was like, it would have never come to this if the school had been in contact with me. He's been getting excessively bullied. you know, the whole entire school year. And I was like, he was fed up. Was he serious about bringing a gun to school? No, he was not. He does not have access to a gun.
Right.
But he was pissed. He was pretty pissed, and he was tired of getting bullied. And it was the same, you know, the same children. I'm glad it's not the same. He's not even around the same scholars this year. Like, he don't have to deal with that. But he had been at the same school for so long, and everybody know him, and everybody, you know, they're so familiar. And I was just like, God, do I take him out of the school? Do I, you know, because it's like where I'm at, I'm in an area where I don't got that many options. Like, I don't have that many school options. Like, so I even did a essay just to get him into the school that he's in, because I want him to be in a better school than where we are. You know, so it's just like, I'm like, look, I'm fighting to keep you here. I don't want you to get expelled, because now that's another thing that happens with the bullying. Then they start flipping it on the other kid.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
like, it's his fault now. Now my kid getting in trouble because he's retaliating
Right.
to
Right.
the bullying that's happening. So I was like, how do this, like, I'll definitely be purchasing that book. I'm like, how do this work? Like, now my son getting, it's like, now he the bully. Now he getting in trouble. Now he getting a bad reputation because y'all only catching him reacting
Right.
to him being bullied.
Right.
And it's crazy. It says, so the statistic that I had said, over 10% of students won't even graduate. They won't even drop. They were going to drop out of school for being bullied, y'all.
Yes. And 160,000 children per day miss school in the United States out of fear for being bullied.
That was one of my stats I wrote down, Tara, because that was just shocking to me.
Isn't it? It's not annually. That's daily.
This was daily, y'all.
Yeah.
This was daily. 160,000 kids, they refuse to go to school. They're like, Mama, no, I'm not going. You can have it.
Yeah, they make up stomach aches. Like my son, I threw up. Oh, this, they do everything to avoid. They're avoiding. So it's just showing and proving again that we're not supporting them in the schools. Now this is the school. So this school needs to support these children properly. These schools are failing our children, and it's just the truth. And it's not every school in the United States. I'm going to clarify that. There are some schools that have bullying policies, but there's not enough of them, because the fact that we still have children taking their lives, and there was a funeral on Friday, tells us that we're failing our kids, right? There's child protective laws in every state. If my child is feeling like they don't want to be alive because they're going to school, it means that you're not protecting them. And protection doesn't mean just physical. This is really an emotional and mental thing. This is my point. We treat the physical side, right? So we suspend them and we do all of these little protocols. That's the physical stuff. The other baby that took her life was suspended because she was your story that you just explained. They were bullying her, and she was suspended once she finally fought back. She denied fighting, and they kept pushing her and pushing her. Well, when she fought back, she defended herself, and they both got suspended. And as she was in her last day of the suspension, or the day, I think it was the day before, she ended her life. So the bottom line is, what does suspension do? And suspension actually tells kids, as I was just saying, 2 minutes ago, that we have to validate their information. So when something is going on with them and we just say, oh, you're expelled, or, oh, nope, you shouldn't have hit back. Okay, what did you do for them now? What did you do for them to stop them from hitting each other? Did you teach them that there's conflict resolution that doesn't have to always be a hit or a kick or a pull? No. So you allow this, and then you're underpaying teachers. Teachers, I love you. I owned a preschool. You're underpaid, and you have our babies longer than we do in your care. That's number one. And you pay a lot for your education. And then you have one clinician on staff and one social worker with 2,000 kids. I struggle with 50 clients. How in the world is someone seriously minding the minds of 2,000 kids, and they're one person, and they have their own families at home? Most social workers and clinicians, they love kids and children and families, so they have their own. So how do you then do that and you come home? And we have a lot of social workers and clinicians who also are suicidal because of the pressure of all of this stuff. It's a whirlwind of hamster in the wheel, and push under the rug and don't speak up and don't push and don't do this. But listen, we're losing kids on front line now. So we can't be quiet anymore. And the more children we lose, is going to be more embarrassment to the to the powers that be, to the schools. You know, people don't realize how many billions of dollars are spent every year for suicide.
Wow.
Yes, look it up. Billions, like 90 billion, okay?
Wow.
Behind suicides. When someone attempts, you have to hospitalize them. There's medication, there's the clinician. Look it up, billions. So why not just fix the problem so that we don't have to waste funding? And I don't mean wasting it on our kids, I mean wasting it on something that can be preventative. Why not do that? Put the funding in that, because it's a serious problem. This is a pandemic that lives within a pandemic.
That is massive. Oh my. I really appreciate you for coming on here and sharing
your world with passionate with it though, but I have
and we love the passionate people here because they let us know that you make an impact, you know, and that's what we love here on our podcast so much. Man, I've learned so much about bullying tonight, y'all. I didn't even know. Like I'm enlightened. I'm inspired. I want, you know, be more active with my kid when it comes to these bullying situations. I'm definitely gonna be more present, like, you know, more aware now. Yeah. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. And we do have a resolution. All of this inspired me to create an app. It's called the Bullying Buddy. And this app is because I heard a mom one day screaming. Her daughter was 9 years old in Colorado. She hung herself because the children, you know, they filmed her being jumped and she was embarrassed to go back to school, but she had to go to the school. And I heard the mom screaming outside of the hospital. She was on life support. And she was saying, we got an app for this and an app for that. But where's the app for this? And she was screaming so much. I literally remember the day. And I am not technical, so I know this is the Lord. I don't have a technical, I say computers break. And my daughter's like, Mom, they don't break. They either shut down or there's F7 and all that. I can't even do it. But the Lord put the intellectual properties in my brain because he knew I had the heart to back up the work that needs to be done with this. So the Bullying Buddy it is in its last stages of patent, meaning it's one of a kind. There are apps that are similar, but it doesn't do everything that this app does. This app records in real time. This is a game changer. So if your child is being violated in the bathroom, you get an alert simultaneously. As soon as they say EBB, that's the emergency bullying button. They don't even have to press their fingers, because when you get beat up, how are you gonna press your fingers? How are you gonna pull? I thought about everything that I could possibly think about, right? And so you say EBB, it's voice activated, even in your backpack. It could pick up audio. Once it starts recording, you get an alert immediately. You get to see what's going on with your child. And so does the school, and so does the bus driver. We had a girl, you know, raped in the back of a bus who was nonverbal. Okay, the bus driver said he didn't know why 5 kids were around her. Well, you know, you could have pulled over and asked. I'm not judging anyone either. I judge no one because I think we all need help. You know, I'm still learning myself with my son. So, but it reports, it alerts immediately, it records. You can upload if you got beat up on the way home from school. And by the time you got home, you know, bruises can kind of, you know, go down or the redness goes away. You could take a picture of your face, show it to your mom, get to email. All of the information is stored in your personal account. And it's for your, you know, 2 parents can use it and your child, multiple children. You get to chat with your child. There's a bereavement section in the app where you can upload if your child has committed suicide, so that we can collect the real numbers, so that the government sees it's not 5,600 and 2,500. There's thousands of kids doing this. It's just not being reported. And inside the app, you can connect immediately to a mental health clinician by culture. I put Indian clinicians, African Americans, because sometimes it's easier to identify with someone of your culture when you're going through something mental. This is why we shy away from it. Well, that white lady doesn't know how it is for us, or that black lady doesn't know how it is. And that's a deterrent. There's no deterrent in this app, and there's no lying in it. And it also combats cyberbullying, because when you're being cyberbullied, you can take a picture of it or a screenshot or a video and you have your proof. So a lot of parents, there's one in particular in California that lost her daughter. It was through cyberbullying because Facebook took too long. It's not their fault. I'm just saying they took too long to take it down. So by the end of the week, the girl was done with living. So she committed suicide, and she was a straight A. Most of these kids are straight A students. It's not the grade. I'm just showing a pattern, right?
Right.
Of who gets bullied. The nerds, the people with glasses, different. I don't use the word disabled because my son has a different ability. He's not disabled. So we call people beautifully diverse. We're all beautiful. We're all different. And we don't need to be punished for being different. Okay. We need to be celebrated for being different. So the app does all of this. Workshops in there. I'm available for consulting. I consult schools, institutions, corporations on the types of bullying, the players in the bullying game, how to redirect behavior properly, how to report behavior. But this app really is saving lives in minutes. On the adult end, there's financial bullying, where we call up elders and we say, hey, give me your whole life's finances that you worked for 50 years. And here's my credit card. There's every type of bullying you can imagine. Corporate bullying. There's, obviously elder abuse and human trafficking, domestic violence, all of these things. With the adult version, racial bullying, when our people are pulled over and you put out your phone. I always say this because I watch a lot of different things and cases, so that because I'm seeing like what is the time frame where someone didn't have to get stepped on their neck and stuff? Like how many minutes did we have before that happened? Because we have time. When someone's shot in their apartment, or when someone's talking loud and I'm about to kill you and I'm about to rape you and you have time. You're in the bathroom sitting there, because a lot of these women are found in the tubs. I watch these kind of things because they correlate to what I'm doing here. And I say, she was on for 15 minutes with first responders. I'm like, okay, you have to have a quicker response to certain things, but in an adult app, no longer will anyone not know you're where it tracks to for up to 10 minutes. But let's just say I'm an adult and someone breaks into my apartment and there's dialogue. People don't just come in and say, boom, I'm going to kill you. Boom, I'm going to rape you. They take down your pants. There's time. So with this, if someone breaks in, the first time someone is in my apartment that doesn't belong there, boom, emergency. It's ESB, emergency safety button on the adult app. Instantly, 5 people know my location and they see and hear what's going on. This will beat the police coming to the apartment. And there's a record of it for the lawyer. The lawyers are very excited about this because this is collecting data, but it's collecting evidence as it goes. When you're pulled over, no longer do you have to say, so let me see your badge number, because right there, you're going to get him upset and he's already has an intention to do something to you. Not all the time, I'm just saying in certain scenarios, right? But you can just sit there and say ESB and just leave it right there. Now your wife, your husband, your best friend, everybody's hearing everything, and you don't need people to stand around and watch you be choked by somebody's shoe. So these are game-changing things, and they're out there. The app is the Bullying Buddy. It's in Apple, it's in Google Android, it's on the tablets, and we're now in phase 2 with the watches. Stomp is the adult app that will be in stores in about maybe 2 to 3 weeks. With developing the app, I learned a lot. I'm now technical. But
okay, then.
You guys, please go download, and it's $2.99. It's not even $1 million. There's no hidden fees because I care about people's lives. It's not really about the finances. We have a back end that's expensive though, so we have to put this somewhere. But seriously, go download the app. You have a child, if you're just a human being, you have an elder in a convalescent home and they're being abused, download the Bullying Buddy app because it works. So that's what we have. That's part of the resolution. And then I also wrote a curriculum called Be Brave, because I truly feel that you stop behavior in its tracks. That's the app. But what are we doing to change that mental? Change the mental in the person who's violating, and change the mental in the person that's receiving it. You got to empower them. So there's a curriculum that goes along with the app. It's not just bullying. It's just a curriculum that teaches empathy and coping skills, but it's very, very unique. It's experiential, and it could be used on someone who's 2 years old. There's activities for a 2-year-old, a 40-year-old, a college student. I made it age appropriate all the way to as long as someone can live. So we do have a resolution.
That
awesome
is
stuff.
amazing, Tara. You're
Thank
doing
you.
amazing,
Thank you.
amazing, amazing, amazing things.
I appreciate it.
You that's you're a pioneer. That's like immaculate. Like you literally sat and you thought it out, you mapped it out. She's like, you know what, we got time and this gotta stop. And you know, I love that. I love
Thank
that.
you.
And
I
that's
love
what
that. You're gonna go so far.
I
So far.
appreciate you guys, and thank you for the opportunity for sharing it and listening, because it's just the word. The word just needs to get out. So we're working
right.
on contracts right now to have it in every school in the United States.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
Awesome stuff. That's awesome. And keep up the
Yes.
great work. And we appreciate you hanging out with us here on the podcast tonight. We do thank everybody
you.
that's tuning in, of course, on Facebook. We live stream. Thank everybody for their comments. We thank everybody for their likes. We thank everybody for their shares. We thank everybody for the thumbs up, the hearts up, the cares. And this stuff is very important. Before we get off the air tonight, Tara, share your information. How can people get in contact with you? I know you have the book coming up. We'd love for you to come back on to talk about the book and stuff, like how people can purchase the book when it come out, but leave the information for people to get in contact with you when it comes to bullying.
Okay, so you can go to bullyingbuddy.com, and that's where you can download the app, but it's also where you can attain me or obtain me for anything that you need as far as workshops and trainings and teachings. The book will be everywhere very, very soon. First week in October, it's called Are You Raising a Bully? I have a book out now. I'm a published author now, and it's called Tiny Be Mighty. So it matches our nonprofit. We have a nonprofit where you also can go to donate, because it do help families bury children. I don't like to say it, but I have to say it. But that's what we do. We help people relocate, because people have to still live in the home that their child took their lives in, and it's hard. So we do a lot of work in the trenches with the families. And we also raise awareness for dwarfism, as there's not enough scientific research that goes into that, because it's a rare condition. So we're trying to raise awareness and really be active and proactive in a solution. So once again, tinybemighty.org and thebullyingbuddy.com, and Stomp is the adult app for corporations. I do corporate trainings and different things, workshops, and the Be Brave workshop. And that is all on the website as well. My social media is Tara Lynn Townes. My social media on Instagram or IG, as the kids say, TL Townes 8. We have the Bullying Buddy on Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere. It's the Bullying Buddy, the buddy in your pocket that takes care of the bully.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And I know Shay put your website in the comment section. People can actually go and check you out. And we do thank you once again for taking time out your busy schedule.
Absolutely, because people in the chat were asking to connect with you, to partner with you. So when you get time, check out the messages. We put your information in there. But definitely, when we have someone, a woman of impact, doing something so influential for the culture, for our youth, for our adults, just for our families, we got to stand up and support. What you're doing is amazing, that you took the time and that this vision was given to you. You know, you said something about you have to be able to see the sign, and that really resonated, because a lot of times we always say, well, we didn't see it. We didn't see it. And so I just want to say thank you for bringing awareness and bringing this to the forefront of our attention to help us be better, so we can better serve our children.
It's so important, y'all, because the children, they next up. We have to be mindful, like they are next. That's our next thing. It's our future. We have to invest in them. We have to invest in their mental health just as well as their wealth and their pockets. Like, same investment. We talk about money investment. We got to do the same investing in their health, back into their mind, back into empowering their spirit, back into, man, that is was some deep talk going on here. And Tara, definitely, I'm here in Dallas. I don't know where you're located.
I'm in Arizona, but I also am on the East Coast. That's where I'll be running over there.
But definitely,
my family's on the East Coast.
if we can help any one of us,
Thank
if
you,
it's
guys.
anything that we can do to help, definitely let me know. Reach out to me. I'm definitely a big advocate for mental health. I'm a life coach, so it resonates a lot with me when it comes to this life and people being. I'm an angel mom as well. I haven't lost a living child, but I know that it's definitely devastating. But I more so talk to the women that have lost children from, like 0 months and, to about 5 months of an age, like, birth and SIDS and stillbirth. So that definitely is still in that arena. Any mom losing a child is just not the natural. It goes against the natural order of things.
Yeah.
So also for any parents that are listening that have lost children and you are looking for a community, I am a part of an amazing community. It's called This Is Our Journey, where it's just moms, dads, grandparents, whomever. If you have lost your child and you just need people to pray with you and talk with you about these things, this is a great community to come into. And we call our group Valoma, because Valoma is an Indian word for against natural order. Because when you lose your child, it goes against the natural order of things. You're not supposed to have to bury your child. So definitely, if you're listening and you're one of those parents that just need a little extra support along the way, join This Is Our Journey group here on Facebook.
And awesome. Once again, we thank you, Tara, once again,
Thank
for
you,
hanging out
guys.
with us.
Seriously.
We appreciate you. We give you your flowers. We give you your roses here. We don't wait till you pass and do. We give them to you now.
Amen.
I know, right? I mean,
Yes.
kudos to the gang. Kudos to the mafia as well, to Kenny, to Anna, to Shay. Appreciate the work that y'all doing here on the podcast. We appreciate our guests as well. And we going strong. Because, matter of fact, I got to do another show tomorrow night. And we're going to be talking about marriage with the marriage couple tomorrow. So marriage and faith tomorrow night here on the podcast. And we're doing another show Saturday on dating and marriage and from different perspectives from male and female. So we're very excited about the work that's going on in our lives, not just in our professional life, but also in our personal lives. And we are pressed for time, of course. Want everybody have a great night. Remember the graveyard, everybody. Remember, everybody's in the graveyard always thought they had tomorrow and they didn't see tomorrow. So you party like it's your last.
Yeah.
And you feel everything like it's your last day here on earth. And remember, take your favorite drink, whatever you drink, whether it's tea, coffee, whatever you drink. Look yourself in the mirror, coach yourself, tell yourself, I love you, tell yourself, I have your back, tell yourself, I'm phenomenal, tell yourself, I am iconic, tell yourself that I'm worthy, tell yourself that I'm all that in a bag of chips. And most importantly, tell yourself, I love you, and you toast yourself, and let the games begin. So y'all have a great night.
Thank you,
The
guys.
replay will be up on our YouTube. Appreciate you, Tara. The replay will be up on our YouTube channel. Also, like, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, which is Walking This Way Impact Voice Podcast. Before we get off the air, we know, even though we do the podcast together, but we also have solo stuff we do outside the podcast as well. And I like to the team to plug in what they got going on. Started with Anna. I know she has a lot of stuff outside the podcast. So, Anna, plug what you got going on so the listeners can actually get in contact with you and get some information on what you got going on outside the podcast.
Absolutely. We have some great things going on. If you want to connect with me, definitely plug into me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm Anna C_Kobe. Every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm teaching leadership development skills. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm teaching financial literacy. So if you would like to plug into any of these free trainings, definitely contact me, message me, let me know. I will be coming to a city near you. I will be doing a finance tour. So prepare for the dates. It's coming, everybody. Your spending plan specialist is coming to a town near you to help educate the community about how we can create generational wealth.
Awesome stuff. And also, Coach Shay, explain to the listening audience what you got going on outside the podcast. How can they follow with you? How can they get in contact with you?
Awesome. So you guys know every every Tuesday you can catch me right here on the podcast. But outside of this, you can follow me at I Am Crochet on all social media platforms. Also, I'm always accepting clients. Of course, I'm accepting clients right now. I want you guys to go ahead and sign up with me. Let's get ready. Y'all missed the summer body. Come on. Y'all missed the summer. Yeah, I know y'all ready for the cold, so let's get on, get the abs a baking. Get the abs baking for the winter. It's cool. I'm ready. I'm ready for y'all summer bodies to pop out. After this, y'all go into hibernation. So if you are looking for a personal trainer, definitely tap in with me. Also, purchase some merch. Purchase some merch from the Walking His Ways Impact store. Get you guys some merch. So definitely, I'm waiting on my shirt. So I cannot wait. So definitely you want to tap in. Get your shirt, get your merch, get your hoodies. It's about to be hoodie season. Might want to grab you a beanie. Get creative with it because I just can't wait. I can't wait to get my shirt and my hoodie.
Also, Kenny, plug in what you got going on as well. I know you bring the sports news, but plug in what you got going on as well.
I'm going to be the one that's really sitting back waiting on week one, ladies and gentlemen. So y'all talk to me next Tuesday night. So I'll give you the full rundown on everything. That's all.
Okay, then that's what's up. We appreciate everybody once again. Also, big shout out to Tara as well. Big shout out to her organization. Big shout out to all the work that she's doing. And most importantly, man, y'all have a great night. Enjoy your night. Sweet dreams. Don't let the bed buzz bite. And be back here tomorrow night on another episode of Walking His Ways Impact Work Podcast. I have an awesome couple that I knew back in 2012. They're going to be on the show tomorrow night. They're a great married couple, great husband wife team. I'm going to chop it up with them tomorrow night. And then we got something for the singles this coming Saturday Night Live Part 2 for the singles. You ain't got to be single, be married, still want to tune in. We have different groups of male and female perspective when it comes to dating, leading to marriage. So, man, y'all have a great night. Enjoy your night. And we'll be back here tomorrow night here on Walking This Way Impact Woods Podcast. Have a great night, everybody.